All right, class. So it's winter break right now, so hopefully you're enjoying yourselves. I am going to, as promised, create a video here that talks about the solution to the grocery list problem that we're working on in class. This video will be brought to us by the letter Q and the number 17. So what I've already done here in my program is I've already created the 3 classes that we needed. So we need a client class. This is the class we're actually going to run our program. I have my grocery list class. This is the class where we're going to create, like basically define what a grocery list object is, and then also define any methods that we want to be able to do with our grocery list objects. And then we also have a third method. This is my grocery item order class, and that's going to define what the object, the grocery item order object is, and what methods I want to be able to do to that. Let's start with our grocery list object class because that's the one that the problem starts with. So in this problem, it says that we need to have a constructor for the grocery list objects, and it's going to create a new array of grocery item order objects. So this kind of array of grocery item order objects, that's essentially the state of this object. So one of the things we want to get comfortable with is the fact that the state of my object, that kind of winds up needing a class field then. So the array of grocery item order objects, that's going to need to be a class field. So I'm going to choose to do an array list with this, and the reason why is because array lists are flexible, and basically it's only going to be as big as I need it to be. So private array list, oops, if I name it, let's name it list. So now that I have my field created, I can create my object constructor. So in this object constructor, we're not going to take any parameters. We are just going to create this empty array list. And so we are just going to do this.list is a new array list of grocery item orders. So constructor is complete. So when I create a new grocery list, it's going to set up this new array list for us. So now I'm going to come down, and the next part of this assignment was to write a method that adds grocery item orders to my list. So as I want to start adding these objects to my list, kind of like when you have a grocery list, I'm writing it down. I need bananas, I need cereal, I need milk. So we want to have a method that allows us to add objects, the grocery item order objects to our list. The first thing in that, though, is it did tell us that we only want a list of 10 or fewer items. So we need to check first to see if this .list .size is less than 10. If it's not less than 10, then I don't want to do anything. I can't add my item to my list. If it is less than 10, then what I want to do is I want to add to my array list. And so the array lists already have a .add method. So we're simply just going to tell it that if the size of the list is less than 10, then let's go ahead and add this new item to my array list. And that's all we need for that method. So now we have an add method written that allows us to add these grocery item order objects. The last method that it wanted us to write was one that will return the total cost of our list. So the total cost of our list means not just adding up the price per units, but also figuring out what the total cost for each item is, because maybe I want to have 3 boxes of cereal or 2 cartons of milk. So later, and in the next video, we're actually going to write that method. So we're going to write a method called getCost for the grocery item order class that's going to, for each item, total up how much the cost of that item is. But this is the interesting thing about programming. I don't actually need to have written this method yet to call it. My program won't work, but I can already call it because I can think ahead about what I'm going to do here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start with a temporary value. So let's call double total cost. Oops. And let's assign it to 0, because right now my list doesn't cost anything. And then I could use a for loop, but just for the sake of practice, let's use a for each loop here. So for every item in my list, and these items are grocery item orders. So for every grocery item order in my this.list, this is the structure of our for each loop. So this is saying for every item in this list, and these are the objects that make up the list. For every single one of them, what I want to do is I want to take my total cost, which is currently 0. I want to add on whatever the cost of that item is. So we would do item get cost. Remember, this method is the one that we will write in the second video. That get cost method, I know what it's going to do. It's going to find the cost of each item. It's not written yet, but that doesn't mean I can't already write it into my program. So what that loop is going to do is go through every single item, add up the costs, and sum it up. So then at the end here, I just need a return. I'm supposed to return a double. Let's return the total cost. Now that method is completely written. I can't use it yet because this get cost isn't going to do anything. If I did use it, I guess technically, since the get cost isn't necessarily filled out here, yeah, it wouldn't like me, and it wouldn't like me because there's no return here. So I'd kind of break there. But in terms of what I needed to do with my grocery list class, it's complete. I have my field here in my class, which is the array list. I have a constructor, which is going to create an empty array list. I have my add method that's going to help me add these grocery item order objects to the list. And I have my get total cost method that is going to add up all the total cost of all my items. So that's it for this video. The next one, we will fill out the grocery item order class.